And I think it's time that I answer a question that I get asked every day. If it's not a phone call or a text message from a buddy or somebody asking me on Facebook or Instagram or even on my YouTube channel in the comments, it's the same question over and over again, and that is it really worth $500 more to get the Manticore over the Equinox 900? So I have a lot of friends that have used the 800, and I know there are a lot of you out there that love and use the Equinox 800, and you're wondering which of these two should you upgrade to, or should you upgrade at all? The first easy answer is yes, you should upgrade. So these are that much better than the 800. You should pick one of these two, and we have to figure out what is the difference in value. What's $500 worth of value from one machine compared to the other. I'm going to start by saying that it's not in the field. It's not head-to-head in a park or out looking for relics or at the beach or anything like that. Look, I had this machine, I think I had the third Manticore in the USA, and I think I was the first YouTuber or content creator to have one in my hands. So I had it for several days before anybody else. I went out there and tested it. I didn't have the 900 for at least a week after I had the Manticore. It took a while to get the 900, but I've had both of these machines together longer than probably anybody else, especially anybody on YouTube. And I've compared them early on head to head, and I couldn't find enough differences in the two in performance to make a video about it. So instead of looking at that, let's look at some other things. Let's get some stats up. I'm going to throw a graph up on the screen here in a minute, and we're going to look at some stats. We're going to compare the Manticore to the 900 and see what's really going on here. And we're going to talk about why I think that the Manticore is worth $500 more, and then we're going to help you make a decision at the end as to which one you should buy. All right, I got a graph up on the screen for you guys right now. You can see anything that I put in red I saw as a detriment compared to green where I put that as a benefit. Starting right there with just the weight, you can see that the Equinox 900 on the right is 2.8 pounds compared to the 2.9 pounds overall weight. And I think that might have something to do with the size of the control head and the thickness of it and the build quality of the control head. I'll bet you every bit of the 1.6, what is that, 1.6 ounces difference is probably something to do with the control head. Also, you look at the length and the collapse length. The collapse length is a little bit shorter by 2 centimeters on the 900. And we could skip past the shaft and waterproof battery and all that because that's all the same. Get down to the headphones, and they're quite different. The ML105s are a very high quality headphone. In fact, it's the best quality headphone I've ever seen on any Minelab product. So you get a much better headphone. They're both low latency, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's an imperceivable low latency, so there's no issue with that probably. But I will say that on the Equinox 800, we used to be able to use third-party headphones. Can't do that anymore. The language that they're using now, the Bluetooth algorithm, is proprietary, and it only locks up to the headphones that come with the machine. And you, right now, as of today, January 2023, you have no other option except to go with their wireless headphone, or you could use any wired headphones you want. Look at the display there. I should have put green on the Minelab Manticore color because I think that a color display is better than a monochrome. But you can see the size difference. There is a slight size difference in both screens. Then you have the backlight on the display. On the Manticore, you have 9 levels of backlighting. Then you also have one that's just an automatic dim, so you put that in auto, and it has a light sensor looking at the outward light in the environment, and it will suggest the best backlight for you depending on how dark or light it is outside. The backlight on the Equinox 900 is tactical red color, which I really like for night detecting. The backlight on the Manticore does not have the red option. So there's 3 levels on the 900. The button backlights on the Minelab Manticore are fantastic to be able to look down there at night and see those buttons lit up. 900 does not have that feature. The flashlight aims down the shaft into the coil onto the ground. It's a little bit brighter and better on the Minelab Manticore. It has 3 levels of adjustability, whereas the Equinox 900 is on and off. They both have the hand grip vibration, which I really like a lot. And here's a huge factor. So this is, like we talked about earlier, this is a huge factor right here. The coils available for the Minelab Manticore as of January 2023 are just the one it comes with, the 11-inch, and that's it. And you can see that it's the M11. It's a special coil made for the Manticore that is not compatible with the Equinox 900. The Equinox 900 has an 11-inch coil called the EQX11. They're different. So the coil is available right now for the Equinox 900. When you buy it, it comes with the 6-inch and the 11-inch in the box. But there is a 15-inch available also. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next graph here on the screen. That covers this one here. All right, got the next graph up here. You can see the frequencies. There's one extra frequency on the 900 down there at 4. And when you're looking at frequencies, the lower the number, generally speaking, the better they are on deep, silver, or high conductors. So I saw that as an advantage to have an extra choice there. So you have multi-frequency, which is MF. And then you have 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 40 on the 900. That's a good range and a good choice of frequencies there. I gave noise cancel green on the Manticore because it has a continuous feature where you just hold it in and it continuously looks at the ground and multiple times over and over and over until you finally see the same number kind of popping up all the time. Then you can let go. And I found that to be something that was able to get me to be able to get the machine to calm down enough to be ran at full sensitivity, a full 35 under wires on a telephone pole, which was crazy. You talk about EMI. But I got this thing so calmed down by doing that it was so stable that I could run it at full sensitivity at 35, no issues. Ground balance the same. We'll skip down till we see green and red. So down at the volume profiles, there are some really neat profiles that come with the Manticore. Simple, medium, and rich, whereas there are no volume profiles with the 900. So it's just something that gives you a spatial difference in the stereo field in your ears, but just a sweetness of the tones. It's hard to describe what's happening there, but whatever they're doing in the Manticore, they do not have those features in the 900. What you're getting in the 900 is a lot like the sounds and tones in the 800, whereas the Manticore is a lot like some of the old Minelab Explorer and even E-Track kind of stuff that was going on for tones. They're more fluty and more musical sounding, more ear-pleasing. And again, with the rich audio and the enhanced audio theme, all that stuff adds for a much better audio experience on the Manticore. And I'll give a huge benefit to the Manticore for audio. The Equinox 900 just doesn't give you the options that the Manticore does. And here's another huge factor. This is just as huge as the Coil issue, but in this time it's in the favor of the Manticore. And what are you paying $500 extra for with the Manticore? Let's just start with this feature right here. This is the one feature that I think is the big difference, the elephant in the room, the 2D target trace. So that's the XY plot that you see on the screen that kind of shows you the very detailed information off of that plot about what's happening in the ground, where you can see two different targets at the same time, literally on a screen. So that is, to me, the biggest $500 difference right there between these two machines. You can see the sensitivity goes up to 35. When you get to 30, so 1 to 29, the sensitivity is normal looking on the screen there. But when you get to 30 to 35, it changes to a red color, and it shows you that it's in a kind of boosted sensitivity mode by being red like that. And they do say that the Manticore has 50% more power to the coil, or into the ground. That's another big difference. And we do see that difference at the beach, where we're seeing about an inch or 1.5 inches maybe at most benefit in depth over the 900 head-to-head at the beach. Can't really say that it's like that in soil yet. It probably is, but I just can't say that. And look, hey, like I said earlier, there's a lot of good videos out there for you guys to go check out where these two machines are going head-to-head in the hands of somebody at the beach or in the field. All right, let's skip down to Ferrous volume, Ferrous pitch. So you can see that the Equinox 900 doesn't have a big section regarding being able to adjust the volume or the pitch of the Ferrous, whereas the Manticore does. You can take a look at my video that I did on all the details about the Ferrous volume, pitch, and the Ferrous limits. You go to my channel and take a look at the Minelab Manticore user's guide that I did, and we covered all that. You can see that the Ferrous limits are quite different on the two different machines. The limits on the Manticore come in two different sections. You have the upper and the lower, and these are bars that drop down on the 2D graph from the top and up from the bottom and kind of close off that 2D graph this way. where on the, since you don't have the 2D graph on the 900, it's simply just a negative 19 up to 0 is the limits in there. So it's quite different in the way that it works. And then you have the threshold level pitch. Recovery speed's a little different. You have 0 to 8 instead of 1 to 8 on the Manticore. And then bias, there's no iron bias on the Manticore. It doesn't have that feature. And there's no FE anymore on the 900. And again, that is of January 2023. So by the time you watch this down the road a little bit, there could be updates and things could be different. Depth indicator has 5 levels, 2 inches for each level, so it can indicate up to a 10-inch depth. And Minelab has a reputation for not being able to give you an accurate depth on something really small, like a small high conductor. It's going to be a lot more shallow than it shows on the screen. That's a Minelab thing, and we're all used to it. They both have pinpoint, so that kind of covers the 2 charts here. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the physical differences when you're looking at the machine, which are very few, but there are a few things I want to show you. So let's go ahead and skip to that part real quick and move on.
Hey, I want to take a second before I make my final remarks to correct myself on something. So earlier in this video, I said that the only coil available for this machine, for the Manticore, was the 11-inch coil. And I just got off the phone with somebody who told me that that's not true. That they're currently right now manufacturing an 8 by 5.5 inch elliptical coil for this machine. And they're also currently right now manufacturing a 15 by 12 inch elliptical coil for this machine. And that they will be out soon. So having heard that, it was too late to put it in the video, so I'm just telling you right now. I hope that some of you made it to this part of the video so you could hear that. But anyway, there are 3 coils available. It's not going to be a 6-inch round, so I was correct about that, but that little 8 by 5.5 sounds pretty cool. So if that was something you were thinking about, then maybe you need to rethink that. So as far as head-to-head with these 2 machines, the 900 and the Manticore, like I said, there's several YouTubers, and I can name a few right now. Calabash Digger, Iffy Signals, and Detecting NY, I think were 3 guys that have both of these machines and went out and compared them. And so did I. I went out and made videos for you guys comparing both machines. And then I got home and I realized I don't even have a video here. There's no difference. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's a negligible, comparable difference between these 2 machines. You're just pulling hairs, man. When it comes to detecting at the beach, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to the beach and you're a serious beach detectorist and you're looking at both these machines, you're coming from the 800 maybe, you got to try to spend the extra $500 and get the Manticore. That's just a done deal. It's deeper at the beach. You saw Calabash's video a couple days ago where he dug an open hoop gold earring and a fine gold chain in the sand, and the Manticore sounded like $1 million on those things. So if you're a beach person, find that $500 and get the Manticore. You're done. Okay. So for everybody else, how important is it for you to have that 2D display? Now, for me to have that 2D trace, that's kind of where I think the big value, the $500 difference is in that, having that display. Now for me, coming from a CTX, I know that XY plot, and I'm used to it, and I look at it, and I use it as a tool, a visual tool. Some detectorists that I detect with don't ever look at their screen. They just go by all sound. And I understand that, and so do I kind of, but I'm looking at my screen sometimes. If I have it, I'm going to look at it. But if you're the type of person that doesn't even look at the screen, and you probably never will, okay, then you're dismissed. You're going with the 900. You're going to save $500. I want to say one other thing real quick. There's 2 other factors besides the 2D display that you have to figure out, besides the target trace. These are minor things maybe to you, but to me they're big deals. So I'll start with the least of the 2, and that is with the Equinox 900. When you have the backlight on, it's red only. You get red or nothing. And it's a little annoying to me to have only a red screen, especially during daylight, on a foggy, overcast day or something, and you look down and you're looking for a nice bright light, and all you get is red. And now at night, to have tactical red is an advantage because it saves your night vision. It preserves your night vision. That's why police, fire, and everybody else military uses red to preserve their night vision. But during the day, I want to be able to see the thing. So that irks me a little bit. So that's one thing I think about. Another thing I think about is I'm a musician I'm an audio engineer and I love music. And I know that if this didn't have a target trace on it, a 2D target trace, and that wasn't even an option, and these machines were the same in every way except for the differences in audio that they are, all the great audio on this machine compared to the Equinox 900, I would spend, Mark Dayton, I would spend $500 more just to get the Manticore because the audio to me is that much better. So there's two things to think about also. Again, getting back to that 2D target trace, that's kind of where the value's at, guys. So go watch those videos from Calabash and Iffy Signals and Detecting NY, and you could see them head to head in the field. If you can find something in there that makes you want one or the other, you know, maybe it's just a tone you hear or something, then use those videos to make your decision. Other than that, you know, look at the stuff that I showed you today and make a good educated decision based on what you think the value is. And you know, like I said, $500 worth of value in that 2D target trace, I don't know, it's up to you. To me, yeah, I'm gonna pay the extra $500. I'm gonna find a way to make that happen. And I love both machines. I'll keep both machines. I'll use both machines. The build quality, fantastic. You can't go wrong with either one of them. And I hope I made that as clear as mud for you. So anyway, I hope that you guys go down below in the comments and tell me which one you picked or which one you're thinking about. Ask me any questions down there and we'll catch up with you on the next video. Take care.